Hello and welcome back to Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. Maddie and I were doing what we always do and talk. And then she said, should we be recording? And this is why we need merch that says save it for the pod because
Yes. Yes,
we're
that's
literally
true.
toxic. We'll just like keep talking and not record our valuable conversations.
Oh, yeah, they're real valuable.
Everything I say is valuable. So, yes.
I was just catching Allie up. I just did like 2.5 hours ago a sauna, and then I went right into a cold plunge, like right out of it. And she was asking me where I went, and my friend, who's a massage therapist, she actually had the Amish come in and like build like the Amish are like really popular in Pennsylvania, like to have
Oh,
them come.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to help them, like you can pay them like dirt cheap, and it's like really good like craftsmanship. And
You can
I
pay
don't,
them dirt cheap.
okay, I don't know what their prices are, but like I'm sure it's probably it's probably cheaper than like other stuff maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they use like, do they use like electricity?
So I don't think like most Amish people do,
Mm,
but
mm.
I don't know. Like, have you ever seen on TLC Breaking Amish?
Yes, and I kind of want to start it back up.
I agree. Like, so they have like what they call like Rumspringer or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm saying it right, but that is the
yeah.
chance where like you get to like go out into the world and use technology and all that. But then I also see some people on TikTok, and I don't know if I'm getting fooled if it's actually like Amish talk or if they're just like cosplaying as like Amish people. But I see some people that are like saying that they're Amish, like using phones. But like I'm pretty sure it's not a thing. Like technology is not really the vibe.
Do you see the same girl that I see, and she's like an ex-Amish, but she still wears the outfits and she's like churning butter?
Maybe that's who I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I obviously have not dived into the culture of what her page is about. I just see it and I'm like, okay, girl, go off, churn
I
that
think
butter.
she's ex-Amish, but like
Ah,
she's still down to her roots, you know?
you know what? Making butter kind of sounds iconic. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like, if I could
Yeah.
do, which you totally can do it. It's just a matter of like, do I want to like go through the
Yeah.
effort of it? But I'm sure it's like fabulous.
Oh, I'm sure it kind of looks fun, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Do
Um
your little workout while you're like churning your butter.
But anyway, so I did a sauna session, 40 minutes, and then into a cold plunge. And that was the first time I've ever done a cold plunge. And she was like telling me what was like what I should experience. Like she was there the whole time. Like I'm really
Yeah.
glad because like I kind of needed like someone to be there.
Yeah.
It I thought I was gonna die. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to die. It was I don't even know how to explain the feeling. It hurt so bad. Like my body, like this felt like needles like going into my skin. I have a video of it. I put it on my stories. I'll probably post it at some point. But like it was really hard to get my breathing under control. I was like, she goes, I don't want you to set a goal. Just like go in. Like you don't have to get to a certain time. I made it to a minute, made it
Yeah.
to a minute, and I was pretty proud of that. But it after that, like I just had so much energy. Like it's like
Yeah.
your heart rate's like all the way up because you just come out of the sauna, and then it's like all the way back down. Like it was intense.
Yeah. They are not, cold plunges are not good for me. Like, I get, they're not happy for my nervous system. Like, I've tried it and, people will be like, oh, it's so great. It's going to help so much. And I'm like, literally, like, it ain't for me. Peace and love. I love that journey for you. I'm all about a sauna and like I'll take like,
Mhm.
I like a cold shower just because I
Yeah.
feel like that can be regulating, but like cold plunges, no, I literally like my nervous system is like we are not vibing. So I was
No.
so proud of you. It's fucking hard.
It was 38 degrees. Like I don't even know like yeah, it was just like I look back at the video and I was like I don't even know what I was
You're like
experiencing.
I
Just
blacked
like
out.
literally I was just like trying to breathe. Like it was very maybe my breathing wasn't
I
like
am
that,
dead.
but
I'm dead. It's like it's so oh my God, it's so fucking crazy. There was this I was watching H3 and they were like watching a video of like Joe Rogan like doing a plunge, like a cold plunge, and they were like making fun of him and his nipples were literally so like long and hard. Like they zoomed up on it. They're like, what the fuck? Because he was in there for like he was trying to like go for as long as he could. And I'm
Mhm.
like, bruh, at some point, like that's kind of like that's a little crazy. And like he literally like his nipples were like so fucking like insane, like daggers. And like I was like, oh my God. Like imagine like I feel like that would hurt your boobs so bad if you were in there for like an extended period of time. Like,
I think he almost gave himself hypothermia once because there
not
was one,
shocked.
I know there was one time where he said he went in like 25, 30 minutes plus, something like that. And the cold plunge that he has a circulator. So like there's no
Yeah.
area that's like
Right.
warmer. Like everything is constantly moving.
Yeah.
And so he lives
Ugh.
in Texas. So he said had the windows all the way down going to work because he just like could not warm up because he was that cold.
Girl, like at what point does it actually like does it stop being beneficial?
Probably there.
Yeah, probably there. Probably when you're like fucking like everything is like frozen.
That's how I
Not for me.
felt.
Yeah, I was like dying watching it. I was like cold watching the video. I was like, "Ugh, ugh." I'm like everything is like scrunching up inside of me.
That's how I felt. Yeah. She's like, you're at 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, get to 45. Like I just
And you're also so fucking type A and you want to like beat yourself. Like you just like, so I can imagine you sitting there. You're like, I can do it more. I can do it more. It's like, girl, you don't have to. And you're like, no, I have to.
can't breathe. Yeah, because you know the next time I'm gonna be like 110, get to 110.
Yeah. Oh, literally. But like, also, like, we love a girl with goals.
So I'm so goal oriented. I'm gonna kill myself in this cold plunge.
You'll be like you'll be in the sauna. You'll be like trying to go overtime. You'll go in the cold plunge overtime, and it's just gonna be like, Maddie, you good? And it's like, no, Maddie is not good. She flew too close to the sun.
Oh God, yeah. So that
But I
was
love that
my
for you.
yeah, I liked it a lot. I have funny because I literally have a sauna book for tomorrow too.
Oh, love that.
It was just like they're at two different places. One place is closing. And my friend was like,
Oh,
"Hey, I'm doing like a thing today." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll come down and try it." So, that's why I was like, I might as well just do them back to back. Like, what's the
yeah.
harm?
I
What's the
love
harm?
that. Oh,
Yeah.
the absolute dream would to like have a sauna like in the home. Like
Oh,
that
we're
would
getting
be.
one.
Oh, you are okay. Like, are you? Where
Yes.
is it being installed? How big is it? Because obviously, like, they're probably fucking expensive.
Well, we didn't get that far. I started looking
Ah,
and
ah,
researching because, like, with anything, like I'm the type of person that like researches it to like the infinity amount because I want to make
okay,
sure, am I getting the best one? So here's the research I've done so far. It's better to get infrared versus steam.
yeah,
Steam
okay.
saunas, mold. You're going to get mold. It's not going to last as long. Infrared, you don't
So,
have the
what's the
mold
difference
issue.
with like an infrared sauna? Will it like?
It's like I don't it's like waves of heat, not
Oh,
using
okay.
steam to get hot.
Okay, okay. I've never been in an infrared one, but that I
Yes.
need to like put that. I want to look in like the area that I'm in now and see what like
Yeah.
kind of cool things they have. So,
Mhm.
all right,
Oh yeah,
infrared,
he's moved.
check.
Yes. Yes, infrared check. We wanted to get one that can fit at least two, so me and Joel
Yeah.
go in there. That way we can have more space. And I want to be like the one I was in today was definitely a single person, and like even sitting, like I couldn't sit like crisscross. So like
Ooh, ooh,
applesauce, like yeah, it was pretty. Like if you were a little bit taller than me, it would probably even feel, and I'm 5'5", it'd probably feel more cramped. So that
that's
was definitely
claustrophobic.
okay, it wasn't that bad, but it was
Oh,
still
okay.
like but it was still like I could sit crisscross, but like I couldn't like I was at the max. Like my knees were hit. I
Yes,
was,
yes.
I was that was it. So we want to get at least a two person. What other requirements? The red light and then the heat level. I need at least 150. The one I want
Right.
was 151 degrees, and I was like, I could go hotter.
Oh,
So I need at least 150. So the one I go to that's tomorrow, I think hers goes to like 175, and that
oh,
was like feels good.
oh my God.
And then there are different brands. Of course, there's a brand, it's called Sun Litten. I almost got was always looking at theirs, but I heard you have to look at the reviews that the air doesn't circulate well, the heat.
Oh,
So you want to just look up reviews and stuff
yeah.
like that. I mean, they have like cheapo ones, like $500. You can like slide in. My parents like were gifted one, and it's like,
Oh, like the one like you zip yourself up in.
yeah, they're not that great. They're not that great.
Okay.
So I found a bunch off Facebook Marketplace because it's like boomers. I feel like in like, I don't know, the 80s they were all buying these, and
Yeah. Yeah,
they just
yeah.
all sat there. I found so many, they go so fast. But also you gotta think,
Really?
yeah, because
Yeah,
people like it's, becoming more of a trend now to get
sure.
into more like longevity and stuff like that. So you have to be quick. But also it's just like how far do you want to drive? So you can find some
Yeah.
really good ones on Facebook. It's just finding if you have a truck to get one. We luckily
Right.
do. And then I just want to look up more brands, but I know for sure infrared, making sure it's big enough, and then just, seeing the brand and
Mm,
the reviews on that brand. But yeah, the lady that I'm going to tomorrow, she's actually closing because I had something with the landlord. I don't know. I was
mm.
like, "Are you selling any?"
You're
I was
like,
like,
because I got a truck. I can pick it up.
literally. So yeah, but we'll probably put it in our garage gym. There's like an
Yeah.
entryway it could fit in. And we want to put a cold plunge next to it.
Oh, you're living the dream. I love that for you.
I am. I am
I
indeed.
am. You know what? I am. When you're right, girl. I love a
Uh,
sauna moment. I'm scarred actually from using like public saunas because it was after the gym one time and I was going in like I had like my shoes and like socks off, but I was still wearing like my gym clothes. And there was a lady, like an older woman, like had a towel on, but she had it open and was just like spread eagle in the sauna. I was like,
oh, is that not
I
sanitary?
was so scared. That is not sanitary. And like, have you no shame? Like, this is a public sauna, ma'am. And then I like literally open the door and I go, oh, and she goes, you can come in. I was like, no, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, like, at my old gym, like, I would always like kind of go in. I would go at times where it wasn't super popular. So, I'd always go in. But after that, I was like, God damn, like, that is some scary, scary business. So,
yep.
I was terrified, literally terrified. I was like, I mean, but like, are we impressed or are we just disgusted and horrified? There's a
Mm,
time and the place. There is a time and a place, I think.
I mean, she's comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, but also like, girl, close your legs. Like, I'm sorry, this is a public gym.
Yeah, yeah.
This is, that's just, I'm like, all right, lady.
Yeah,
Other
because
people
like
are going
you're
to sit on this bench.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
scared. I'm
I
scared.
wonder I wonder if that's how I'm scared for my life. I wonder if that's how guys are like when they go into like do you ever hear
Maybe.
there might have been like an episode of Friends or an episode of
Oh,
Seinfeld.
yeah. Of friends where like they go into the steam room and like they're
Yes.
naked.
Yes.
Like,
With Monica's dad
yes,
and
Monica's
Chandler.
dad and like Chandler sits on him like naked. But like my thing is like if you want to go in with your towel, just keep the towel on. Like I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like I'm not trying to like put my bare ass and like cooch on like a surface that other people's bare
Oh.
ass and cooch is on. Like if you're in your
Ugh.
towel, perfect. Wear your towel. Go for it, girl.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Hey, even
So
like
yeah.
go ahead.
I was
Yep.
just gonna say
No, no, you're
that's a
scarred.
look into like my fucking experience. Like, why? Why do these things happen to me? No, I don't know. Because they're
It's
good for
always the
stories.
they're always it's always the elderly too.
Yes.
Ah. Oh God.
Like you would never catch like a younger person or even like somebody like in their 40s, 50s doing that. Like this woman was like 75 and didn't give a fuck. I was like,
None.
girl, I don't know. I don't know. I'll call you when I turn 75 and we'll see if I act that way, but probably not.
I doubt she'll answer. She'll be dead.
Yeah, that you know what? True. Number out of service.
Uh,
So in long story short, that's why you need a home sauna or have a hookup so that you don't walk in on somebody naked.
yes, yes. So we'll eventually get a sauna. Not there
Love.
yet, but definitely want to get the cold plunge. There's so many options for those too. Like I've seen like
Yeah.
inflatable like cylinder pools that are like
Yeah.
just big enough so like you can get in. You can do a what are they? A freezer, a chest freezer, kind of like what
Chest
I was
freezer. Yep.
in.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we actually have to get a new one. So I don't know if we could convert that one. I'm pointing here because it's literally behind me.
Oh, maybe.
Um, the problem is it might be too small. Like I don't think Joel could fit in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because that one actually, that freezer actually has a leak in it, so we need to get a new freezer for
Ugh.
our meat. Yeah.
So then it wouldn't really even do the purpose. Like, would it work if it's leaking?
I mean, I don't know. Could we like
Patch it
add
up.
some Flex
Yeah.
Seal? I just remember
Stop.
that guy would take he would take the screen door Flex Seal talking about and stand in it in a lake.
Like, bestie, that shit worked. Like the boat, there would be a hole in a boat,
Yes.
and he's flexing that. And then he like goes on the water. If Flex Seal could like fix my problems like that, we would be in business. That shit was so cool. Does
I
anybody
know.
did anybody actually ever use it though?
I
Because
use it, yeah.
oh, you used it. Oh shit, you actually have an
Yes.
experience. Is it as good as
So
the commercial?
yeah, so in my gym, the bricks like kind of like are it's like the gym was actually that I have was actually a carport. So it
Okay.
wasn't like it was an old school carport for like a mechanic.
Mm.
So it wasn't like designed to be like super weatherproof, you know? So the bricks for the wall, like you can some of them you can like see outside, which is like kind of which is kind of
Hello.
literally, which is kind of scary. So when it would rain, we had two
Oh,
we had two issues. The bricks a little bit open, and then the like piping up top, it just went straight down. So there was no like
right. It just
thingy.
ran off.
Yes, there was no like runner to take it down. So we once we put like the runner in to take it to the hole thingy, it we had a lot less leaking, but when it would rain heavy, we would get leaking in our gym. So we did the Flex Seal, the paint, like the spray, the aerosol one,
Mm.
and then we did the paint can. We did
Oh,
probably like 3 or 4 paint cans, like
oh
in
shit.
sprays, and we don't really have a leaking problem anymore. So
Oh, iconic. Okay, you are literally the spokeswoman for Flex Seal. Hire her, give her money. Flex Seal will be flying off the shelves when this episode drops. Baby, that stock is going to be going up because people are going to be buying it. I love it.
imagine if Flex Seal like came in my DMs and was like, "Can we be your first commercial?"
We are tagging them. We are tagging Flex Seal. They need to give this girl some do re mi because no water in your home gym.
No,
Iconic.
no,
No
yeah.
more creepers peeking through the holes. Iconic.
It's like this message was sponsored by Flex Seal.
I'm dead. I am dead. I don't know if I'm like if you're actually that funny or if I'm just delirious.
I think you're part delirious, but because I don't think I am that funny, but I will take it.
I think you are mostly that funny and then I'm a smidgen
Mm,
delirious. Because when
gotcha.
we were driving home this morning, I kept falling asleep in the car and I had my sunglasses on and
Hmm.
James like woke me up and my sunglasses were like tilted and I was like, "Where are we?" And he's like, "We're almost home. Like wake up." I was like,
Uh,
"Oh my God, girl." I was like, "Don't wake me up. I want to stay in the car." And he was like, "No, like
oh,
you have
I love that. There's nothing better than falling asleep on a car ride and just like
oh,
staying asleep forever. Like I could sleep the
yeah.
rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's warm. I'm cozy. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is what dreams are made of, literally.
Hmm. Hmm.
I love that. So today, Maddie and I were deciding, like, I I had just gotten off the mountain. She was like sending me voice messages of like, okay, what should we talk about today? And both topics were equally as good. But I
Hmm.
think we're probably both a little bit more excited about the second one because it's a little bit maybe
Correct.
more. Maybe you guys have seen this person on TikTok talking about these sorts of things. So, Maddie, intro it because this was kind of your topic baby that
Okay.
you're giving to the world.
And I'm not gonna add her because one,
Yeah.
I don't follow her. Two, I don't even remember her name on TikTok. And three, like this isn't like a fight or anything.
No, no.
This is just more of like what we see. And this is like if she's talking about it's probably multiple other people who were kind of spreading misinformation
100%. I
when it
think this
comes.
is a big topic
Yeah.
um on TikTok. Like do not use social media as the end all be all for information, right? Like
Yeah.
you see us talking about stuff, but you can also ask us questions or like when we're talking about things like you can ask us like, oh, like, what did you go to school for this? How are you certified? Whatever. Like, we're approachable. You can ask us questions. Don't just blindly look at social media and be like, oh, that's cool. Let me do exactly that just because this person has followers and they have a good body or whatever your view of
Standard.
them on, what your standard is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was this girl and she was I think she got popular from reviewing different leggings and stuff, and I was watching her. And then I noticed that she talked a lot about how she didn't need to follow a program to get strong. So, mind you, this story is also layered. So there was multiple parts of this story we're gonna like break down and what she's been talking about. But the first part of it is she was really big on talking about how she didn't need to follow a specific program and you can get strong just doing whatever you feel like your body needs in the gym, like very like, like flowy and I can do whatever, I can
Yeah.
get stronger. Now, this first part, let's break this down.
Yep. Let's break it down.
So a lot of people were like, that's awesome. Like, follow a program. Like, I want to do that. Like, I just want to do whatever I want. Here's the thing. For starters, as a beginner, if you've never lifted weights or maybe taken a lot of time off of lifting weights, this is actually true. You can get stronger just doing whatever, as long as you're consistent. That's
Mm.
super true, right? Any beginner, just like beginners in the gym, can gain muscle and burn fat at the same time, right? We can do that. They can do that. But it's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. And also, you're going to get way better results following a progressive overload, which is slowly adding intensity, whether that's more reps, more sets, less rest time, bigger range of motion, doing the movements better. You will get so much stronger, faster, leaner, whatever you want by following a program. So was saying like you can do whatever you want. You don't have to. And look at me, how strong I am. Like, okay, maybe she was lying and actually following a program and just like recording like random little like workouts and saying she wasn't. But then also she's like misleading a lot of people, right? It's not gonna last
Right.
forever, and you can
Yeah.
get much better results doing a program.
Yeah, I think it's also quite a luxury to say you don't need to follow a plan to see results because I know when I saw this person, I was thinking in my head about the woman that watched this video and was like, ugh, if I could just be like that, if I could
Mm,
just be willy-nilly and see results, right? We work with a lot of women that have tried to do their own thing, that have followed probably hit workouts, that have followed random workouts they saved on Instagram. And the reason, partly why they see success with us inside Maddie's business, inside my business, is one, because they have a plan that actually works for them, right? The
mhm,
plan that Maddie's doing is not necessarily going to be the best plan for me, vice versa, because maybe we
mhm.
have different injuries, we have different schedules, we have different goals, we have different histories. So my red flag, if you will, that went off was just like, but what about the women that have tried to lose weight? They've tried to get into the gym because they're like, oh, I've heard if I build some more muscle, if I'm lifting weights, it's going to help with fat loss. And then they're just like, fuck, like I can't do this. This already thin person is talking about how easy it is to get stronger and all this sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, if you can be successful without needing a plan in place, without having a routine, that works for you. Great. But it doesn't work for everybody. So like
Right.
keep that, keep it in mind. If I have been weightlifting for over 8 years, I got a plan I follow. Like, not
Hmm.
because I don't know what I'm doing, but because I want to get the most out of what I am doing. And
Yeah. Like,
I want to take the fucking load off my brain. I don't want to have to be like, okay, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? Like, I look at
yep.
my phone, that's what I'm doing next. So,
Yes.
yeah, that was for me, that was just like, it
Hmm.
feels silly. It feels a little silly to say we don't need a plan because you kind of always need a plan, no matter how, like, if you want to be more strict or a little bit more lax, you can have a plan for that. And I do think this person probably says that because it's like, oh, you don't need to pay somebody. You don't need to, you can do this
Hmm.
yourself. We also have work with women that have done this themselves. And
Hmm.
some people need extra support, and that's okay. You shouldn't feel like a failure because you need a little extra support.
I mean, if you were to ask Allie and I, do we have coaches right now? The answer is
Yup.
yes. Yes. I- And if you're watching this on YouTube, I am like in and out of like a misty haze. Like I kind of look like I'm like grave digging right now. Like
It is literally getting worse by the
I
second.
know, I know. Let me wipe my thing off. Maybe that will help.
Yeah, I was like, is it dirty? No, it's just literally the
It's
light where it
it's
is.
because the light, there's a freaking thing right here, a window, right with my hand is.
I am
So
gagged.
yeah, the lighting is just so bad right now. So
It's
don't
fine.
don't
When I go
what
to clip,
what?
when I go to clip this, like we better not talk about some good shit because your
I
face.
know. I'm debating on like moving somehow. Okay, there we go. It's going
It's
back.
a little.
What if I close the blinds? Do you think that would
Try
be
that.
better?
Yeah, try
Okay.
closing the blinds.
Okay, let's try that.
As Maddie closed the blinds, we are also not, this is not us bashing somebody for their way of seeing results. I think it's just to kind of expand upon the conversation. Like oftentimes with social media, I find that it's half of a sentence. That is much better.
Wow, so much better.
But I think it's half of a sentence, right? Like you don't
Yes.
need a plan. Well, maybe I don't need a plan and maybe you don't need a plan, but some of us might need plans, right? Like I think
Yeah.
when we're watching social media, when we're reading things, remind yourself this is maybe an incomplete thought. Maybe I don't fall into this realm, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
But it's just like, why, if you have limited time to
Yeah.
go into the gym, which 99% of everyone does, me and you don't get paid to work out. We don't.
Nope.
No
I
one
wish.
pays us to work out.
I wish.
I know. I mean, kind of, you think about it, we do in a way get paid because we, have to do walk the talk or
Yeah.
walk the walk, whatever it is.
Walk the walk.
Yes, but like no one's sitting here paying us. If you do work and get $50, no one's doing that.
Nope.
So if I'm gonna go into the gym, if I'm gonna spend my time where I could be rotting on TikTok, just scrolling, doing nothing with my brain cells, I want to go into the gym, do something that makes sense and I'm gonna get results from, and then be done and go on with my day. I don't
Yeah.
want to spend time just doing random stuff that's really not gonna work or might work, or if I like doing one thing, I might end up doing that a lot and then
Yeah.
create, issues in other areas of my body that may be lacking because I'm only spending time on this movement. It just takes the confusion out of things to have a plan.
Yeah, it totally does. And if you are somebody that's new into the gym, what is the most intimidating thing you can do? Go in without a plan,
Yep.
right? I
Yep.
work with a lot of women because I talk about my anxiety and my agoraphobia. So I attract women that have a lot of fears and concerns around being in the gym because they don't know what to do. It's like I end up
Mhm.
just going on the treadmill or doing
Mhm.
sit ups because I don't actually know what to do. So we're not only creating a plan that's going to have you in the gym for less time because like you're actually being effective,
Yeah.
um but it's also building confidence. It's
Yeah.
building the knowledge of this is what this machine does in the gym, or this is how I properly squat, or I'm feeling so confident that I'm in the gym and I'm feeling my body that like I might go out on a date. I might start doing
Hmm.
different things with my life because I have this area of confidence and it's overflowing. So when we think about being in the gym, Maddie and I think about it far, far past just a workout in the gym because we
Yeah.
we see how it actually changes people's lives.
Oh yeah, there was a woman I was talking to recently, and we were just talking about how she was struggling to be just consistent in life and with her
Yeah.
schedule and kind of felt all over the place. And I was like, I can't tell you how many people, when they start exercising and having to show up for themselves and having to get groceries and meal plan, they show up better in life because now they've gotten used to showing up for themselves and being consistent. And I got to go to the gym at this time. I got to go to the gym at that time. Like you show up better when you start taking care of yourself and having to make time for things that take time, like going to the gym. You're going to be better just at life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And soft plug here. If you don't know where to start, my Start to Lift program, the challenge is starting in this is what dropping the 21st, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
21st. It starts the 12th. So if you want to have a plan for the gym and you hate going to the gym, the plan is for you.
The
We'll
plan
link it
is
below.
for you.
I will link it below, but it's our third round of the challenge. So I'm really excited about that. But I feel like we talked at nauseum on that. Let's move on to the next one.
Yes. Check.
Okay,
Next step.
so next up. So now that this girl has kind of gotten everyone on board about not needing a plan, then she starts switching to running. Cool. Like, I'm never gonna yuck someone's yum. If you want to be a runner, be a runner. That's awesome. But the way she went about it, which irked me a lot, she started doing long distance running with her workouts. I don't know what percentage it was, 75, 25, 90, 10, whatever. And then she's talking about at nauseum, like continuous, like I'm running and I'm not losing muscle mass. I'm losing no muscle mass. I'm a full long distance runner and I have all the muscle mass still. And I was just like, you can't, that's not, I'm sorry, it's not
Do
possible.
you?
No, and like I can visibly see her like starting to shrink a little bit. And that's fine. Like if you want to be a runner. But
Yes.
when you're a long distance runner, your body is naturally going to want to lean out and be as light as possible on your feet to be a long distance runner. So after that, I was like, unfollow. I can't stand hearing you tell people that you're not losing any muscle when you are going to lose muscle. Well, fast forward a couple months, she popped up on my feed and she was like, I have a confession to make. I lost a lot of muscle. And I was like, no duh, dipshit. Like
Which is a weird way to phrase this. I have a confession to make.
I mean, I might have been I that might not be how she said this is like a year ago. I don't know when she did this.
You're like, I
But
might be lying. I'm
I
gonna
might be
lean
lying.
into it. I'm leaning into it. I'm choosing to believe that's the truth
Okay,
because I
you can
want
do
to.
that. But I was just like so annoyed. Like now, again, she went from one side telling everyone you don't need a plan, and then telling everyone like I'm not losing any muscle. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna happen
Yeah.
naturally, especially if you are running. If you're supplementing your running with lifting, you will maintain more muscle mass. But if you're, barely doing any and only,
Yeah.
once every so often, like you're gonna lose muscle. So then it's,
Mhm.
let's talk about that a bit and maybe why that happens.
Yeah. I mean, it also is just, again, another reminder with social media
Yeah.
that a lot of people work out in trends because
Yes,
they're
yes.
watching one person who has what they want. In this case, it might be the body, it might be the energy, the confidence, whatever it is. And they're going to replicate what you're doing.
Yes.
So if they're lifting, you're going to lift. If they're running, oh, shoot, now maybe I should try running. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
should do Pilates. Maybe I should do hit
Oh,
workouts. Maybe I should do some bungee jumping crazy. Have you seen those workouts where you're like on a bungee thing
oh
and you're
yeah, they're
like,
like
I'm
they're like
like low key looks fun. I don't know how effective that is. But like
Yeah,
again, if that's something you like and if that gets you into movement, then do it.
great.
However, I get a little weary with just jumping from one thing to another because
Yeah.
you're bored or you see somebody else doing it.
Yeah.
If
And
you have specific goals, like you gotta fucking stick to one thing. We can't say, oh, I kind of want like a bigger butt and like a flatter stomach. And then it's like, okay, I did like 2 leg workouts and now I'm like, oh fuck, I should go run. Like let's be consistent here.
that was one of my biggest mistakes when I first started just getting into CrossFit and
Yeah.
lifting. And like, I was a program hopper. I would go from one to another
Mm,
to another. I was like, this one's not really working. We did a few weeks here, but one next, next. I mean, it wasn't until I stuck to the same literally program for like a long freaking, I don't know how many cycles of it I did. I think one cycle of this plan was like, God, I wish I could remember. Maybe 3 to 6 months. And I did it like 4 times or so. And I was like,
hmm.
wow, like I'm finally seeing results. Now, mind you, I'm not doing it anymore because I work with Dr.
Yeah.
Kelsey. And now we're working on like my core activation issues and my low back pain, which has gotten a lot
Yeah.
better recently, by the way.
Love.
I know since we recorded that podcast too, which is cool.
Oh my God, I
Um,
love that.
I know, right? I love it too for me. But it takes a while to see results. Think about this way. The first time you did a squat, I bet you your knees were hurting and you didn't even feel anything in your butt. Like
No,
it gets better over time. So if you're constantly program hopping, you're never going to see the results if you never got good at the freaking movement to begin with.
yeah. Yeah. It is. It's really the endorphins hit that we're like chasing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this program's really exciting. I'm really excited to start. And I'll even
Mhm.
have, clients that just start out with me that want to change things up. And
Mhm.
we talk about it. And I'm like, well, why? And I'm kind of bored. And I go, well, instead
Mhm.
of changing things, how can we make it a little harder? How can we make it different?
Mhm.
And as soon as we make a couple tweaks, it's like, oh, fuck, that was so hard again. It was like a whole new workout.
Mhm.
And our brain wants constant change. We if this is not working, we must try something new, but we have to trust the process a little bit. Our bodies are complex, but it will respond to the same movements. You increase the weight, you change up tempo, all this sort of stuff, but it will still respond. And sometimes boring is okay. Sometimes it not being the flashiest thing ever is actually the better version. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
how many times I see on TikTok some crazy ass workouts that I'm like, you look like you were going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I really hope nobody is doing these fucking insane movements. Like, just stick to the basics. You'll actually feel stronger. You're going to reach those goals if you want like more toned arms or you want like a flat stomach. You want to just feel overall stronger. Like, you got to do the basics. And so I agree. Like the program hopping and just you're allowed to change your opinion or the narrative of
Yeah.
what you're doing, but when somebody has like that influence and they're
Yes.
kind of not speaking correctly,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you know what? We're gonna say something because it just, people on the internet are impressionable, me included.
Yeah. And even like another one I keep seeing is girls that are big advocates for Pilates. And they're
Mm,
like, I lifted weight and my arms were just so thick. And now I do Pilates and they're so lean. And I was just so, look how like inflamed I was from lifting weights. Girl, there are a lot of things going on there, but it's not like Pilates like saved your body completely. Like you
yeah,
probably had some deeper, you probably went from like a CrossFit style, like hit workouts with lifting, which if you have, stress issues or cortisol issues already, you're going to be more inflamed.
yeah,
So those workouts push more inflammation and more stress on your body. So going to Pilates was slowing down,
yeah,
taking your time, and you probably learned how to move better in
yeah,
Pilates because it's
100%.
probably a smaller class, it's slower tempo, you're really focusing on the muscle, so no wonder your body responded so well. I hate
Yeah,
it's like you're shooting the like you're shooting the messenger of like lifting weights and saying this is bad when it's like everything else was creating the bad thing. It wasn't lifting weights,
right.
it was everything else.
Yep. It's so you're gonna like laugh. My mom had a Pilates instructor come to our house once a week. And my sister and I,
Pause real quick. I knew you grew up rich when you told me you learned how to ski as a child. I'm like, this bitch was rich. Now you had a Pilates. We lived very different childhoods.
yeah, it was, I didn't enjoy it. I definitely, it added a lot to the way that I viewed my body, 100%, because I kind of thought to myself, why is it not good enough to just like, if I want to go to the gym and be active and whatever. So we had this woman come to our house and like do Pilates and whatever. And so I enjoyed it, but it's not for me, right? Like it just wasn't enough for me. But I think it's so funny how like it's the trend is coming back around and like people are like Pilates arms and all this sort of stuff. Cause I'm like, it brings me back to a place where I was like, oh my God, I felt like the goal was to be as small as you could be.
In
And
Pilates, I feel like that is the goal, like tight and
low
small and
key, yeah.
dainty.
Yeah. And I
Like,
was like,
mm.
fuck. But then, go figure, being a, oh my God, I almost said homie hopper, being a program hopper. We would do like Pilates on
Oh.
like a Saturday morning and then like Tuesday after school. It was like prom season. My sister is like 2 grades older than me. Um she would be, I think it was her senior year prom. We had like the Jillian Michaels DVD and we would like do the hit workouts, and if it really started to suck, she would be like, "All right, like just think about prom, just think about your body. It's going to be amazing." And like, oh my God, it was actually bananas. Like triggered by so many workouts and things. I'm like, I'm scared. But what is the story and all this? How does it end? None of that actually fucking worked. None of that got me to where I wanted to be. It only stressed me out more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and didn't really build me any confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
What built me the confidence? Fucking weightlifting. Even though I went into the gym, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I like looked
Nope.
crazy. And I
I
was
was
like
like,
this big. I was like, whoa. But what was that feeling like for you? I think it's important to talk about the confidence aspect. So before we go into that, are we wrapped up on the running or did we want to touch upon like anything else there?
mm, maybe just,
Yes.
again, just tying the knot. Be careful of who you're listening to for
Yeah.
advice because one minute she's telling you you can get progress without doing a program, then she's blatantly lying to you that she's not losing muscle mass from doing long distance running, and then she's finally confessing. So
Mm.
be careful who you're listening to. That's the
And
moral of
she
that
was
story.
also somebody that, and she's not the only person. There are a lot of people on TikTok that are obsessed with their walking pad and they go like 20,000 steps a day or a certain amount of miles.
Mm,
More is not better, right? Maddie and I both have walking pads because our jobs are pretty sedentary. Like we're working at computers most of the day. So to make our lives easier, we have walking pads to get movement in while we work. However, if I hit my step goal, I get off. I'm done
mhm,
because I have my goal set up for a reason, right? Like we have our coaches, we work with our coaches, we set certain goals. Some days I go for a little bit longer because I'm like, this feels good. My body needs it. But I'm not out here trying to break records on my walking pad.
no.
And this was a big creator that would be like, oh, I block out and I just like do like a crazy amount of steps.
Yeah,
And it's like,
that's
it's not it. It's not the vibe. You don't need to do that.
no, that to me seems like someone who's a little unstable. Not trying to be mean. I'm just being like
Yeah.
factual. Like I
Yeah.
I I want to take advice from someone who
I'm gagged. You go, I'm just being factual. In my opinion, that's a fact.
there was something I said the other day, Joel, and I'm like, I'm just stating facts.
Just stating facts. He's like, you know what? Yeah, 100%.
Hey, we didn't name her anyway, so so in my doctoral opinion, because I went to med
Mm,
school, everyone, right? Yeah, I want to take advice from someone who knows what they're talking about, has experience, and also is like mentally stable when they're talking about things and how they run their
yeah.
life.
Yeah, yeah. Like look at who you're following. Take a moment. Take a
Mm-hmm.
moment because
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, if I were wanting to lose weight or be the smallest version of myself and I heard about weightlifting, I heard about Pilates, I heard about all these things, but it was like, "Oh, you can just walk." I would be like, "Oh, no brainer. I'll just walk. It's perfect." And that's not the key to success. Like I don't think there is one key to be like this is the secret, this is the key. It's like we have to stop believing this narrative that like there's this special thing because it's not that
Mm-hmm.
special. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually quite basic. It's quite simple. But when you are weightlifting for a lot of goals, weightlifting is going to be the key. You just have to keep it simple and do it over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not exciting, it's not super sexy,
Yep.
but when you do it over and over again, you start to like look in the mirror and be like, "Oh shit, who is she? Who
Yep.
is she?" And that's when it gets easier to keep doing it. But because we're
The
craving that like that excitement, that change, we want to be, I almost said it again, homie hopper. We want to be a program hopper. I guess because I don't know what song it is, but like something about being a homie hopper.
Gotcha.
That's in
Okay.
my head. And like program hopper, homie hopper, same right now, apparently.
But that's exactly why,
Yeah.
again, to drop this and start to lift, it's the same workout, not every day, but each week for the first 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to get good at something. It's
Mm.
and I had several people ask me, like, is it the same thing? I'm like, yes, it is, because I doubt you can do a full push-up after day one. You're gonna be able to
Yeah.
get lower each time. That's what they were telling me. Like, oh, I can feel this more in my glutes now. Oh, my push-ups don't suck. I can do them from my knees in the floor. I don't need an extra block. But that's the same way you probably program for your clients that I do.
Yep.
It's the same
Yep.
thing. You get good at it. You build confidence. You get stronger, and then you can start new stuff.
Hint, hint, it's not us being lazy. It's us being effective because I swear some people probably out there like coaches are lazy. They only give you one set of workouts. And it's like,
Mm, I could
what
see that.
do I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing or do I know what I'm doing? Right?
Yeah,
Like
you
you
you you
hired me
hired
for a
me.
reason.
Yes.
So, but I can totally see that being a narrative
Yeah.
of like, you need to change things up. And it's like, no, you actually don't. And that's okay. But we're so used to things changing and evolving and being all fucking crazy that of course
Mm-hmm.
your nervous system is like, we need the change. We need the change. Which
Mm-hmm.
girls, if you're listening to this, you no, you don't need that shit. And you need to unfollow certain people on social media because
Facts.
yikes.
Facts. What was the other thing we were about to talk about? Confidence?
Confidence, yeah, when it comes to lifting and just being in a consistent routine and what that can actually do for you because again on social media we see a lot of people jumping from one thing to another
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to go out on a limb here and say it's because they're chasing that confidence. They might
Mm-hmm.
look a good in a certain way. You're like, "Oh, that person looks good." They might appear happy, appear confident,
Mm-hmm.
but why are we always searching for something more?
I guess part of it because they aren't patient enough to see results yet. Like,
Mhm.
I just had a call with someone and she was like, I'm just very results driven. I need to see
Mm,
results. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. My clients get results, but that's because they're patient and they
yeah.
put in the work. You're not gonna see results because you ate one salad, right?
Yes.
Be on,
Similarly, you're not going
yep.
to gain weight because you had one meal that you deem is bad.
Right. And I mean, think about it from the push-up perspective, right?
Yeah.
We know how to do a great push-up. We got to get all the way to our chest on the floor, push all the way up. If you're doing push-ups and you're barely bending your arms, right? You're not going to build a lot of muscle. But if
Mm-hmm.
you start doing them all the way to the ground, slowly build that up, that's how you're going to see results.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to be patient and be willing to put in the work to see the results. You can't just expect 1 day, 2 days. It's a lot of time. And it's a lot of, trial
Mm-hmm.
and error of trying different things and being open to different ways, or but say you try, I want to be a morning person, like work out in the morning, and 7 a.m. feels really early. Maybe you try 7 a.m. Then you try
Mm-hmm.
6:45, 6:30, whatever. But it's gonna take time to get to the result that you want.
It is. And that's also why we do what we do and we offer different services with when working with clients because we understand what it's like to get the results. You have to put in the work, you have to stay
Hmm.
consistent, you have to be accountable.
Hmm.
And when you are first starting out, or even, us, like we sometimes we need that little extra push, right? Because there are
Yeah.
going to be some days where you're like, rather not. And then I'm
Hmm.
like, you know what? I'm going to call myself out on my bullshit because I hired somebody. I have
Hmm.
certain goals. If I'm not doing the work, then I can't be mad at myself or I can't be disappointed
Yeah.
when the results don't happen. So we understand that it takes time. And we want you to understand it takes time, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen or it's not worth working towards, right? Like,
Yeah.
I like to think about it in a sense of like, if you're buying a really nice pair of jeans, right? Like, I love Abercrombie jeans. I think they're
Same.
fantastic.
Same.
They just fit my body great. Like, I feel so great in them. I feel so confident. Can't speak enough. Abercrombie, sponsor us. Um, if I were to go to like Shein or something and buy a pair of jeans for like fucking probably what, $10, $20, whatever, I'm probably gonna look like shit. I'm probably not gonna feel super confident. They're gonna like fall
Hmm.
off my body if the wind blows too fast. So I'm going to invest in one good pair of jeans, even if it's
Hmm.
expensive. I'm going to kind of, maybe I'm going to save up some money. I'm going to be like, I'm going to invest in a good pair of jeans. I could get
Hmm.
several pairs of the shitty jeans.
Hmm.
That's not going to make me feel good. That's actually going to probably make me feel worse because I'm going to look in the mirror and be like, ugh, what the fuck? Similarly, when you're, investing in your health, like sometimes it's a hard decision. It might be a burden financially. So it's like, don't do everything at once, but take advantage. Like Maddie has like a beginner's program. I have a membership. We have ways to get into our circles so that you can actually stay committed, start something, and then see that investment pay off. Like when I'm walking around in my Abercrombie jeans, I'm like, ooh, I am that girl. Right.
Hmm.
Similarly, when we are working with a coach and we're seeing results and we're progressing in our push-ups, we're learning how to put meals together that actually like fill our belly, that make us feel good. We know what we're doing. We know that like I know I should have protein in my meal, not just because like people are saying it on the internet. That
Yeah.
investment pays off. And like 10 times more than a pair of jeans, right? Like the feeling that a good pair of jeans makes you have, investing in your health is like way better because it's like it's your temple, it's your little being. Like you get to like bring it around with you. And so weightlifting is such a great way to get there because talk about, your experience, like the first time you walked into like a gym and you're like about to go weightlifting. What the fuck was that
Oh.
like? Because this is what the people are feeling like, and they
Hmm.
want to know that we started there too, because we did.
Yeah, I think one of the first times was whenever it was like in this weird limbo of my life when I was not doing gymnastics because it was after I basically tore my meniscus, and I
Oh,
was like, what am I doing with my life? And I'm too old to be, doing gymnastics, and tore that, and I'm not in, I didn't have like regular exercise, so I started going with a friend, and I literally had no freaking idea what I was doing. I was super self-conscious. I like just was afraid to do anything because I didn't want anyone looking at me. And newsflash, no one's looking at you. No, because like last time I went to a gym was actually when I was in Florida, put my headphones on and did my workout. I'm not paying
yeah.
attention to anyone. However, there were Olympic athletes at the gym, so I may have been
God
watching. I
damn.
know. I may have been watching them a little bit because that was cool. But they weren't paying attention to me. They were doing
Right.
their own thing. They're in their own world, you know?
Yep.
No one's watching you. So, and then of course the outfits, I always felt like I would wear like a huge shirt and like crappy leggings, and like didn't feel great about my clothes either. So now, I mean, mind you, I work out at my home gym in like pajamas half the time.
And
So
with her
that
frownies.
Yeah, with my frownies on in the mornings, I work out in the morning. So now I don't give a shit what I look like, even
Yeah.
when I record. But having a doesn't have to be an expensive outfit. Just having clothes you feel good
Hmm.
in.
Yep.
Having not having a plan. Oh, I'll be like, oh, that machine looks good. You start walking over, some random person goes in the machine, and then you're like, oh, and you go the other way because
Treadmill.
yeah, treadmill. You don't know what to do. I am
Yep.
proud to go on that. You know that one ab machine where you put your legs in, you're like laying back. Like I was just like, what am I doing here? Like
You're
it's
like,
just
fuck, I know how to do
yes.
this. I know how to walk on the treadmill. So
Yep.
this is where I go when fucking alarm bells in my head go off. This is where
Yes.
I go.
Yeah, and even from that point when I had no freaking idea, I didn't know shit about fuck, if you know what I'm talking about. And then finally to where I got my first program and I had a book and I had it written down, the difference in my confidence of knowing, okay, I'm going to do this movement for this many reps at this weight. Next movement. I didn't have it all figured out, but I had a
Mhm.
plan, so I wasn't like constantly looking around and being nervous. I was just doing my thing. I was in my world. I had a goal. I did it and then would go home.
Yeah. That's it's so relatable because I think the first time I was like very like serious about like weightlifting and really building my confidence was in college because I had like a gym membership all throughout high school and I would do classes or sometimes lift, but it wasn't much to talk about. So I was the like smallest person and I'm around these like college like guys, some of them like probably being seniors. Like that's kind of a big difference between like 18 and 21. Like, I felt like, oh my God, they're so old. Um, and I literally was looking up on Instagram before or Google or something. Like I had looked up and I was like, okay, I'll try these sets of movements, like
Hmm.
our upper body workouts. And so I
Yep.
tried to be
Yep.
logical. I was like, okay, what can we put together that makes sense? And I was a little bit in my head. I did feel a little awkward. I probably made some like you like I when I get like weird, I like get dodgy and like make faces and not so
Yep.
much anymore, but I can imagine like myself probably looking very weird. But
Hmm.
I was more driven to reach a goal to feel comfortable than to care. And
Mm.
once I started to like feel confident, like not even like my body didn't change, nothing really changed, but I was just like, I know what I'm doing. Like I would start on the treadmill just to kind of warm up and I would like look around the gym and be like, okay, I'm going to go to that machine.
Same.
But if it's somebody's on it, then I'll do this exercise and I'll go over to the dumbbells. And so I kind of created like a map in my head. And I was also warming up. So it was like, okay, this is a purpose. We're doing this. Um, and I also always had like a backup exercise. Like if somebody's over there, if I feel kind of intimidated, like I can do this instead. And it's
Hmm.
honestly started with like doing little things, wearing a cute outfit, which sounds silly, but like look good, feel good,
Hmm.
having your headphones in, having a plan.
Hmm.
Like, and now everybody has a fucking like iPhone or a smartphone. Like if you don't work with somebody, which you should, you can fucking write things down on your phone. You don't have
Hmm.
to keep a notebook if that feels like awkward for you. It's so much. It is such a big part of my confidence journey. And especially with having such a high level of anxiety and a panic disorder, you would think that it would be scary for me to like be in the gym and be around different people and all that sort of stuff. But I feel so at home there that I can kind of
Mm.
shut that part of my brain off. It was not always like that. I had to kind of
Hmm.
retrain myself to be like, this is a safe space. You know what you're doing, you are confident. So I went back to the old stages. I was like, go on the treadmill and see where you want to go. If you want to leave at any time, you're also allowed. You don't need to work out for hours. You can get in there,
Hmm.
be effective, and get the fuck out. Um, but I think it's just that reminder to yourself that like everyone has a starting point.
Yep.
And I do think it's hard because, we say nobody's looking at you, but then how many times have you like scrolled on TikTok and like some assholes taking a video of somebody in the gym?
Well, you said it right, an asshole. Like
Yeah.
I could never fathom doing that
No.
to someone. Like, and
Nope.
I feel like I am like a critical person of people, like not gonna lie, like I am. But I wouldn't do that. Like a gym to me is such like a place of like we are all here to get healthier or to
Yep.
achieve some type of goal. Like
Yep.
there is, in my opinion, there is no like for not forgiveness, what's the right word? No room for people like
Yep.
that
Yep.
that critique people for being a different size or for being at a different starting point. Because I
Yep.
guarantee the person who's taking that video at one point freaking sucked at working out and moving their body and were not confident and were confused in the gym at one point. You
And they're
didn't wake up.
insecure as shit.
Yes, if you have to tear someone down, you're insecure. I hate that so much. Like I just like cannot fathom doing that and like being critical of someone who's trying to better themselves.
Yeah, fuck
Like
that.
you've not anything better to do with your life. Probably not. Like you're a piece of shit.
100%. And if that, because I know sometimes people will be like, I'm afraid, like, I don't want to look stupid. You could even be doing the most like crazy thing in the gym, and the person that's filming you is always going to be the fucking stupid one. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
likely not going to happen to you because most gyms are like pretty good about like, you can't film in here, or if you think somebody's maybe filming you, just like fucking like tell somebody that works there. Like
Yeah.
this person's kind of
Yeah.
being weird. Um,
Yeah.
but that feeling of like everybody is looking at me, we have all felt that. We have all
Yes.
felt that. So that is a feeling you may experience, but reminding yourself that I'm here and I'm just going to keep looking in the mirror at myself. Like this is between me and like that reflection of me in the mirror. And over time, like the more you do it, the more you feel confident. Like a lot of the times I remind my clients, confidence comes from doing. We can't just
Yep.
most of the time wake up, roll out of bed and be like, I am confident today. No, sometimes
No.
you fucking feel like shit and you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to put on a cute workout outfit. I'm going to like do my skincare. I'm going to go to the gym. And then when I start lifting, I'm like, oh, there she is. There's that fucking girl that is slaying. And it's
Yeah.
it's insane. Like what other thing does that? I don't know. But weightlifting, I'm like fucking godsend,
Oh
man.
yeah, I feel like I'm just like such a different person after I lift. I'm like I just
I'm a
picked up
better
like
person. I'm a better
yeah,
person.
I am. I took out some of the rage. And one thing also to loop back to, I was just thinking about like when I was thinking about like former me going into a gym, having no
Mm,
idea. Like I feel like a lot of my goal was like, let's fucking sweat. Like I just wanted to sweat
yes,
so hard. I'm like,
yes,
I can't leave until I'm like crawling out of this gym on my hands and knees. Like it's just like a rat. Like I just look like a sewer rat. Like
yes,
when I didn't sorry, your voice. It
yes.
was like reptilian. Um Okay, back to it. I just think about that was like my goal because I didn't
Yeah.
have a freaking plan. And then once I had an actual plan, like, okay, we're gonna squat 10 reps. I wasn't focused on did I sweat enough today? Did I burn enough calories today? I was focused on did I get stronger? Did my squats get
Mm,
better? Did I lift more weight? Did the form look better? Like you evolve and you start to
mm,
look at you have better metrics of success
totally.
besides if you sweat or not. Because like for a long time, like it's hard for me to sweat. That's a whole
Yeah.
different story with my autoimmune, why it's hard, but it's hard to get me to sweat. So if I went off that, I should be not making progress if I went off how
Right.
much sweat I sweat.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth saying that for myself, even when I had my plan, sometimes those thoughts still came in. Did I do enough? Should I be sweating more? But I looked back and I said, well, I did the plan. That was it. I worked hard. I showed up. I did what I could do. And when you're first starting out, you might have this feeling of like, oh, I didn't go heavy enough because I'm seeing all these other
Mm-hmm.
people around, but that's your journey and that's where you're
Mm-hmm.
starting. And so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why tracking your progress is what I have
Yep.
my clients do. I do it, you do it.
Yep.
That shows us, oh, 2 months ago you were squatting at this weight. Now look at where you're squatting. You can literally see the progression.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking cool thing because so many times we're focused on the scale, the clothes, the measurements, but let's look
Yeah.
at other fucking metrics. Like, are you stronger? Can we see that change?
Yeah.
That is like, that's what fucking lights me up, I swear. Because
I
yeah,
God.
you see it happen. Like, it's like, fuck, like you are literally getting stronger and we see this happening.
I just had the coolest video. I do
Oh,
movement assessments with my clients when they first start because I want to see how you're moving. And
Totally.
if we have trouble doing a couple of basic movements, we're not going to jump into like hard movements with our workouts. So her first one I think was in July, and she just did it in January. It is looking at two different people. I need to post it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Just the ability to do a movement. The first video just looks so confused, and just her body looks like a body that's not lifting. Mind you, she was already lifting when
Ooh.
she started with me. Then the recent one she just did in January, she's wearing like a shorter sleeve shirt. Her arms are more defined. She looks way leaner. She's moving confidently, like moving and like very unbalanced in the first video
Like
and now
it's smooth
balanced.
and balanced. Like,
Yeah, I was just like, who is like I sent to her and I was like, holy shit, like you look so different. Like you're
oh, I
moving
love
differently.
that.
She goes, wow. I'm like, yeah. And it wasn't like we were like, how much heavier are you squatting? It was just on like simple movement patterns. And it's just
Mhm.
so cool to see that. Just like the balance has gotten better. And like, mind you guys, when you get older, you start to lose your balance and your
Yeah.
equilibrium.
Yep.
So I'm talking, these are basic things to just change your life, and it's why everyone needs to lift.
Yeah,
But
literally.
it's just so cool, like how much the gym and being in the gym can do for you, from your confidence, from your body fat levels, from your general health, from your mental health, from your ability to like be on time for things. Like it just
Yeah.
truly makes you a better person in and out. And if you aren't motivated to lift after this, then stop listening to our
I can't
podcast.
help you. Yeah. If this didn't change your perspective, then I don't know. Like, we are definitely not for everybody. You might be that
No.
Pilates girly, but we are talking to the women that have tried everything, that want to be in the gym. They want to be that girl, but they feel like I don't have a place in there, or I don't know where to start. Well, we
Start to
do.
lift.
That's great. Yeah, like we actually know where to start.
Yeah.
We both have done it, and we work with women just like you that are doing it. And sometimes it's just not enough to like follow someone on social media and to take their advice. Sometimes you got to put your money where your mouth is. And
Yeah.
like, I get it. Like, sometimes it fucking is like, ew, like, do I have to spend that money? You'll fucking be thankful for it when you are 75 years old and you can do the stairs no problem. You don't have
Yep.
aches. You can like be mobile. Like,
Yep.
that is the shit that I think of when I'm wanting to be lazy. I'm like, well, we can be lazy for a minute, but then we're going to get up and we're going to do the things because we have short term goals and we have long term goals. And what's going to get us to those goals?
Yeah. I have never regretted investing anything into my
Mm,
health. I have never
mm.
regretted it because I personally don't have a problem investing in my health because I know I'm going to be a better person, a better wife, a better sister, a better coach because I'm investing in my health. And if you are still in that mindset of like you just want to be here for a good time but not a long time. I literally had someone tell me that one time and I was like, have fun
On
being old and
um like a what do you call it? Application, they said that?
no, so she signed up. I did a lot of when I was a CrossFit coach, I did a lot of like the onboarding class,
Okay, yeah.
on ramp classes. So you're teaching people because like for CrossFit, you can't just like go into a class. You have to
Right.
learn how to like snatch and do some stuff, you know? And I remember she signed up after she did onboarding. I was like, the way I like got a lot of personal training clients is like I would teach the onboarding and then I'd be
Yes.
like, hey, you need a lot more help. You need
Right.
some personal training sessions with me. That's why I got a lot of people. I was smart for doing that because I did a lot of
Hell yeah.
onboarding. And so anyway, we did some personal training sessions and then she was about to finish her package and I was like, "Hey, let's do another like yada yada yada." And she goes, "You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. This isn't for me." And I was like, "What a sad way to think because you could be here for a good time, but if your body literally is falling apart and you feel like a dog shit every day, how is that a good time?" Like,
Yeah,
that's not a good
that ain't a
time.
good time in my book. And like,
No.
also that mindset to me of like, I either have to like take
Yeah,
care
like
of my
one or the
health,
other.
or yeah, it's like a girl, like we can do both. Like,
Yeah.
both can exist in one space. Like,
Yeah.
that's life. It's fucking dynamic. We don't have to
Yeah.
like be weird and like
Yeah,
Say like corny shit. Like what?
I'm pretty sure she was a smoker, like all of these things. But I
Oh
say
my
all this
God. Yeah.
I know. I say all this to say is that there are so many levels that you can start with to start taking care of your
Hmm.
health. But there's never a day that I'm like, man, I wish I wouldn't have started like trying to get off Humira. Like,
Same.
no,
Yeah.
like
Well,
I have learned, yeah, for you, like I wish I wouldn't have
sentiment. The
started taking.
sentiment is the same.
Yeah, like I wish I wouldn't have started like taking care of my mental health. Like
Yeah.
no, Allie's never thinking that. Like we benefit so much and more than just than like putting out money. Like I don't think
Hmm.
there's ever a bad way that you can invest in your health and get on it. Get on it, find a way to make it happen, do
Yeah.
it, you will not regret it.
I agree. And for those that I know, a lot of people that I have worked with, they sometimes feel, what if it doesn't work? Or should I be investing like for my kids or different things? A lot of these concerns come up, but I always go back to the root. Like when we are taking care of us, then we get to show up so much better. Like we're going to have better energy. We're going to be happier. We're going to want to show up and not just feel like we have to. And I also get that like anxiety of like starting something new and having long-term commitments. But if you actually want to see changes, it's not going to happen in 3 months. We'll
Mhm.
start to see some changes, but the goals that you have, the goals that you're talking to me about, you're voting on polls about, it needs time. Like, think about
Yep.
your mental health. That shit we don't heal in one therapy session. If
Nope.
we did, a girl, I would have saved a lot of money. But it is what it is. I'm over here thriving because we're
Yeah.
continuing to work on this. And like anybody, we are probably getting fed up at times. I know Maddie's been going through her autoimmune journey and it's been rough, but you are doing the things that you know are going to be so good for Maddie in the future. And so like we get your fucking experiences. We get your stories. Like we have sometimes been on a journey and we're like, fuck, is this the right one? But deep
Mhm.
down we know it is because we're like, okay, why did I start? Let's go back to the root of it.
Mhm.
And would I still make that same decision? Yes, because the root of the
Mhm.
why is so strong.
I agree with that.
Mm, yeah, I think,
For Allie literally said to me, like, oh, let's make it a
oh,
short episode. I have no battery. And then here's
girl, I
like
know.
Allie like an hour in, like, la, 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 la. I'm like, liar.
You know what? It's the delusion, it's the
I know.
sunlight. Like I am that New Englander that it's like, oh, it's 40 degrees. Oh my God, t-shirt weather. Like it's so warm outside right now. Let me get the temperature because warm is relative. But like I'm looking at the sun. It's 44 degrees. I
It
am like,
is.
oh, girl, put your bikini on. We are living.
You're gonna hate me when I tell you.
What?
61. I need
I'm
to open the
shook.
windows.
Girl, yes, I opened the windows. I was like, we need to get some fresh air in here. We are
Mhm.
vibing. Oh, I love it. This weather, I come alive.
Any, I almost said any last words. Like I
No,
was
don't ask me any last words because I won't shut the fuck up.
okay, then I will close it out. We talked about so Justine's episode already came out, so
Mm-hmm.
that's all out. Next week we are recording with my BFF Lindsay, and this is like gonna be super interesting because
Yes.
should we say what the
Let's
topic
preview it.
is?
Yeah, let's preview it. That will be really fun.
Well, we'll do it. Okay, this is like
Little,
closing,
little,
so we're
little
not.
itty bitty, little bitty preview.
So we are basically, we could not be more polar opposites. Like, she is an angel and I am Satan. And I am the devil.
I am the devil.
Literally. And I met her at one of the gyms I used to coach at for CrossFit. So I've known her for quite some time now. I planned my honeymoon around seeing her in Italy. But we are really, 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 really good friends, and we're gonna talk about religion. And this is just like I always laugh because anytime we end up together, because she lives in Virginia now, so she'll come up for like a wedding or come up for this and that, and she'll stay at the house for a couple days or whatever. And we always like, I'm trying to convince her to start her business, and she is like trying to convert me to Christianity every single time. And it's funny because like we have such good conversations because like we talked about, Cassidy's episode hopefully has come out by now. Or who knows? I don't know at this point. Can't keep track. It should have probably. Who knows?
It will, yeah.
Okay. We talked about how it's so refreshing to be able to have a conversation with someone and it be a conversation and not an argument when you're on different
Mm.
sides.
Mm-hmm.
And for as opposite, like me and Lindsay are, we could not be more opposite. Like we just love each other still so much. And that's like what brings us closer, I think, is that we're able to have these conversations. So I'm super excited to record it. We're probably, me and you also have similar-ish religious views, I would say. Probably closer than me and Lindsay's. Like me and you are closer than me and Lindsay's for sure.
I'm the
Um,
Antichrist. I am the devil.
okay, okay. Crap, what is her name? Stassi.
Yeah, no,
I
literally.
am the devil.
I am the devil. Like, yeah, no, yeah, that was actually scary, you insane person. But I think that in conversation is going to be such a good one because like I feel I have like such religious like a little bit of a religious trauma, and like I also just like it's a story that we'll obviously talk about. So I'm really excited to
Mhm,
hear her experience because like
mhm,
mine is like not fucking great. And so to actually hear like a positive experience from somebody that
mhm.
you genuinely care so much about, it's like, oh, like this is going to be really interesting. And it's going to be a good episode. I am excited.
I know, same. Just to talk to her too. She texted me yesterday. I think I left her on red. I have to, I need to answer. I need to answer her. Just so you open it, like
Uh-huh.
she texted me like "Happy Thursday, friend." I'm like, oh, she's so cute.
Like that is some angel shit. Like
She
that's iconic.
every time we would eat with her, I always forget she prays first, and then
Ah,
Joel's like eating. I'm like, stop eating.
we love a respectful queen.
Yes. But yeah, so we're recording that next Friday. Super excited. The only other thing.
Ooh, maybe we should put a Q and A on our stories for this.
Oh, I like what? Like,
We're interviewing, like we're gonna have a conversation like around religion. Like maybe like people will like wanna like know thing. I
oh,
don't know. Let's put it out there.
oh,
Let's see it.
oh, two more things. I thought about this the other day. Joel said it's a great idea. We should do it. I love when podcast. Why are you laughing?
I don't was I laughing?
I just felt like your face on the verge of laughing.
I
No.
don't know. I think I was just excited. I don't know.
Okay. Um, I love when podcasts have like specific questions they ask every guest. Like
Oh, yes, yes.
there was one, I can't remember. I think it was because he was about to be a dad or something, and it
Mm.
wasn't Nick Vial, someone else. But he like asked like, what is something you are going to do that your dad didn't, or something
Oh,
and I was like, that's such a good, like, not that we're gonna ask that,
right.
but something like, I don't know, like we gotta think of some like good
Mm.
questions,
And not
like
like a stupid question.
yeah,
Something like actually good.
like ketchup or soda or pop. Like, what do you say? Like, no, we're not doing that.
Like that is killing my brain cells. But yes, you guys stay tuned for that addition to the pod.
Yeah, yeah. Last announcement. The Start to Lift Challenge starts the 11th of March. Sign your butts up. Once you buy the program literally lasts 52 weeks. 52 weeks of programming. You literally don't have to worry about it for like literally a year. Or no, sorry, 56 weeks. It's over a year long. It's $80 and you get every challenge with it. And this is the third challenge. So if some of the ladies who already bought it the first time, they're in challenge number 3 and they're still going strong. So that starts March 11th. Sign up now. You won't regret it. That is it. And
Slay.
we're done. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us so we can reach more women just like you. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendships, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.